Hello, good evening, sunshine. Now I'm right, okay? We are at the beginning of the morning, just woken up, and we will continue studying the present continuous tense, right? There will be a lot of lessons regarding the present continuous tense because this is a very complex verb tense. Complex, by complex I mean it's not difficult. It has many details that we have to study, to pass through, and we can't ignore if we want to cover thoroughly all the topics that involve the present perfect. Okay, so let's get going, shall we? All right. Okay, let me find the best way to hold the... Sometimes I struggle with my cell phone, okay? But I hope you don't mind. I'm not a professional, right? I'm not a YouTuber or personal influencer for that matter. Okay, let's see difference between gone to and been to. So what's the difference? Let's suppose you want to go, for example, I'm giving my own example here. I went to the US last year, right? I went to LA and I stayed there for 7 days, for a week, right? So I can say, I've been to LA, right? I've been to LA. So what does it mean? It means that right now I'm not in LA. I've been to LA. So I went to LA, okay? I traveled from Rio to LA, and now I'm already back. I stayed there for 7 days. And right now, I'm no longer in LA. I came back to Rio, right? Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now, let's see another example with gone to. It's different expression. This is the present perfect. Remember what is the present perfect? It's when you have the verb to have plus the main verb in the past participle. I've is the contracted form to I have. I have. Right? I have. All right, so let's see another example with gone to. Now it's a hypothetical example. It's an example, it's not a reality, of course. Let's suppose I have a cousin who lives in the US. So now he lives in New York. He lives there. He has been living there. For example, he has been living there for 3 years. This is another topic, right? This is the present perfect continuous, in which you have ing. We will cover this topic in the next lesson, but I'm giving you some context here for the example I want to emphasize. So, he is Brazilian, my cousin, and he went to the US, and he's no longer in Brazil. He's no longer living in Brazil. So he has gone to New York. He has gone. So what's the difference between been to and has gone? Well, been to and gone to. Been to means that you went to a place and then you came back. I've been to LA. It means I am no longer in LA. On the other hand, when I say he has gone to New York, it means that he was in Brazil, he traveled to the US. He traveled to the US and he didn't come back to Brazil. He's still in the US. So this example, he has gone to New York, right? He's there now, or he is on his way there. He has gone to New York. He traveled to New York this morning, for example. He went to New York. He went to the airport in Rio and took a plane and traveled to New York. He is not in New York yet, but he has already gone to New York. He is on his way to New York, right? He's going to New York. Okay, so we have this covered right now. Now we'll check another lesson, other situations with the present perfect tense. I hope it's gonna be easier this way. All right, we checked some situations in which we use the present perfect. We saw that we use the present perfect when we want to give new information. So we start with the present perfect. Now we'll see a situation in the timeline we will study, right? For example, I've been, I'm sorry. My writing is terrible. I have to write it better so that you can understand. I've been to US twice. Okay? So me, Thales, I've been to US twice. It means that in the past, my history of life until now, considering all the time, all this timeline until now, I've been to the US twice. Okay? It's a period of time that started in the past until now. Twice. 2 times, right? Twice. I've been to the US twice. I can still go to the US in the future. Actually, I have already planned to go to the US in the future, to New York, but right now I guess it's pretty much impossible due to COVID-19, right? So I have to reschedule my trip probably. Okay, but no problem. Let's ask you a question. Have you ever been to China? Have you ever been to China? In my case, no, never. So you can answer, you can give a short answer. No, never. Or no, I've never, or I have never been to China. Been to China, right? The short answer, no, never. No, I've never been to China. Or you can say, yes, I've been to China once. I've been to China once. One time, right? I've traveled to China once. In my case, no, I've never been to China. This is just the example, right? Been to is synonym, is equals visited. Okay, have you ever visited China? No, I have never visited China before, right? Right now, we'll see some expressions which are used in the present perfect. The last lesson, we have already seen some of them. For example, just, already, yet, right? Now, we'll see other expressions which are used with the present perfect. Okay. Let's see. Okay, right here. Other expressions which are used when I want to talk about a period that starts in the past and the situation continues until now, which was the example I gave you just before, in which I said, I've been to the US twice, right? As I've been in the US, I've been to the US twice, I can still travel to the US in the future. I'm not dead yet, right? I'm still alive. So let's see some examples, some adverbs of time which are used, okay? Have you visited your parents recently? Have you visited your parents recently? You can answer yes. I have visited them in February. Yes, I visited them in February. During carnival time, right? I intended to travel to my city to visit them more often, but due to COVID-19, I'm unable to travel. So I have to stay here at home office, right? I have to order my food. I have to order everything I need from home using apps like Rappi, iFood, etc. and so forth, okay? So recently is an expression. Let me use. He hasn't seen Paul in the last few days. I haven't seen Paul in the last few days, right? I haven't. Oops. Let me see. I haven't seen Paul in the last few days. So I use the present perfect with the expression in the last few days. There is an expression which is very used in English that is since and for. I'm going to give you two examples involving these two prepositions, right? How long have you studied English? I'm simplifying, right? Because the most appropriate question to this would be, in my opinion, it would be, how long have you been studying English, right? The present perfect continuous, but I'm going to use the short example. How long have you studied English? I've studied English since 1993. Okay, in my case, I've studied English since 1993. Since shows the beginning, the timeline. You draw the timeline and you say, where is the beginning of the action, right? Since 1993. So from 1993 until now, I study English. You have to constantly study English, right? In order to be updated, you have to study vocabulary, phrasal verbs, and stuff like that, right? So I have studied English since 1993. Another example, another way to answer this question. I've studied English for right? For example, you can say, I've studied English for 20 years, or for 5 years, or for 1 year. For considers the interval of time, right? It's the time frame you have. You have a period of time, the beginning of the action until the end of the action, and you consider. So since and for is used in this context. Okay, that's it. This is a short video. I have to interrupt right now. The next video will continue studying the present perfect tense. Bye bye.